go rounds, though, for Avangar that have kind of gone the way of Furia.
But here's their chance to make it up closer to 15. They need to break Furia's economy right here, right now.
Well, if they don't, they just lose.
Yep.
So it's not all about the economy, it's just about winning rounds as well.
Well, this is 2. This is for 2. That's not a good start, though.
Not a good start
has
at all.
been so good for Furia.
Dren's going to give it a crack as well, by the looks of things, but Heart's not interested anymore.
Oh,
it's close.
Unfortunately, there's a massive box behind there, so unless he's heading through the corner of the box, not going to hit very many of those on that angle.
This looks like the perfect angle for Yuri to find an opening frag. Expecting a player to sort of just slowly crawl up this ramp, and at that point, almost an unmissable shot for him. It takes just a second. Almost thought that head disappeared, but James survives for now. 48 seconds, Avangar again. They're just letting the round slowly pan out. Utilities being used, and up onto the bomb site we go. James leading the charge. There's players all around him in the smoke. He's looking behind him, expecting some flashbangs, but none to come.
Avangar, they've got themselves into the bomb site, but they need to get the bomb down before these smokes start to fade and get into a favourable post plant.
And before Art wraps around behind them, which might well have already happened. Kika drops Sanji as well. And now it's all onto James, 1v3. His position is well and truly known, and he's going to have to do something special from here. That's a good start. And it'll slow down the aggression from the CTs. But where does James go from here? What does he do? He's got such a long distance to cover if they start touching this defuse. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get there, Billy. The round's over. The map's over. And Furia are going to win it. It's going to be 16-11, and it was a bit of an anticlimax in the end, really, there for Avangar, as they were so close to kind of making that happen. It really felt like they were going to do it. And then just that one critical round where Furia goes aggressive. They play a little bit quicker on that CT side. They try to dictate the pace, and now here we are, one apiece.
Those two maps really just tell the tale of Art as a player, pretty much. Like on Inferno, pretty much a non-factor, absolutely taken out of the equation very early on in a lot of rounds, both on the T and CT side, heavily punished by Avangar. But when he gets rolling, he just destroys your whole team. He gets up in your face, he gets those key entries and really dismantles your entire strategy, as well as creates a ton of space for his teammates to come through and win the round way more easily.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Avangar. I don't know how much that's really going to hurt them too much, though. You know, like it was a relatively close loss, all things considered. And with the expectation going into Vertigo being that should be a pretty clean map for Furia, I'd say that was anything but a clean map for them. So I think you can feel relatively confident still as Avangar going into Mirage now, which is their next map choice.
Yep.
Deeper and deeper we get into this map pool, I think it becomes a bit more of a grey area, which should favour Avangar more so than it did for Furia there on Vertigo. So, I don't know, I'm still feeling a little quietly confident about Avangar. We saw sort of enough there on Vertigo that makes me believe that they can make this happen.
Yeah, for sure. And you even just talk about the way that the first half kind of panned out. It was pretty back and forth to start things off, but Furia got themselves off to a huge lead, and that scoreline is actually the difference between the two teams at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that and the fact that Avangar's T side maybe just a little bit too one-dimensional. It kind of felt like they were doing the exact same thing every round. They didn't really have any trick plays up their sleeve or anything like that. Just this slow crawling pace, waiting for the aggression to come out from Furia. Some of the time punished, some of the time not. And then if things didn't go well, they did just every single time go to those smokes around the crate, as well as the progression molly and creeping up that ramp to try to close out the round in the late round. And although that did work for them here and there, it's only a matter of time until Furia sort of came through with a couple of rounds. And that is something right there, what Kikert just did. If you play a bit of CS yourself, go back to that pallet where he's standing and look towards that metal grate near the top, and it doesn't even render on your screen. There's nothing there, so you can see the CT perfectly. That definitely needs to be patched on this map, because pretty unfair advantage for the T player in that scenario.
Well, only came into play once that we saw here. Nonetheless, the map still goes the way of Furia. Avangar, I mean, I think we looked at James as well quite a lot. We've been hearing a lot about James as an individual for this Avangar roster as being their driving force when it comes to sort of these big booming wins. But so far tonight, I haven't really felt like James has gotten off the board all that much. Maybe that's coming on Mirage, a bit more of a AWP-centric map, some might say. Anyway, we're going to head to a quick break. It's not going to be too long, hopefully, and then we'll be back with map 3.
everybody.
This year's Delft 2019 marks the significant milestone in promoting the development of esports as an emerging industry for Hong Kong. You should all be impressed by this esports venue, which is among the best in the region. It has the state-of-the-art facilities. Promoting development of esports will bring new opportunities for our young people. This was a key consideration of the government to drive the development of the esports industry 3 years ago. It is still true today and for the foreseeable future. Esports present many new alternative career paths for our youth.
3, 2, 1.
What can I say? It's been a fantastic event. We've met a lot of great people. It's been all round brilliant. The facilities are even better than I thought they'd be, and I see that there's for sure a great potential for the development, the further development of esports in Hong Kong. Absolutely, we'll be back in 2020.
Such an amazing experience, a lot of people from all over the world sharing the insights and very valuable information about esports. I got to share the valuable insights from the Israeli esports scene and the Israeli Esports Association, so I'm very happy to be here, very honored to have been invited, and see you next time.
I'm very happy to be part of the Delft. It's been a very successful event with high-level speakers from all over the world. It was a combination of presentations, panels, also interactive games. Congratulations to Cyberport for this event. Concerning the eSport venue, I only can say that it's like state-of-the-art. I'm convinced it's going to be a place with a lot of successful events in the future, and I wish you all the best.
It was the age of gamers. It was the age of oppressors. It was the epoch of utopia. It was the epoch of dystopia. It was the winter of silence. It was the spring of uprisings. We are unstoppable. We are all going directly to the Republic of Gamers.
G'day guys, welcome back to EMF. It's in Hong Kong, we're in Sydney, but the event itself has gone pretty swimmingly. It's the Counter-Strike Finals, and it's Avangar and Furia. One apiece, probably the expectation at this point. I mean, maybe we might have expected a 2-0 going the way of Furia, but Inferno certainly kind of put a boot in that expectation pretty quickly, and now we're here at one apiece after Furia gets Vertigo. So, what do we say about this? Where are we at right now? Like, is this standard fare? Is this what we're expecting?
Not really. I think Avangar's really turning up to this game, and I think Furia looks pretty mortal in this series, honestly. Like, a bit up and down. There's definitely some gaps in their game that Avangar are definitely exploiting. They're definitely punishing that risk versus reward style somewhat consistently, although I would say that Art definitely got away with a lot of stuff on Vertigo there, the CT side, the T side. The man was just opening up, heading up that B ramp, and then aggressing towards the stairs on the CT side, just shutting Avangar down. That was really hard for them to deal with.
Certainly was. A bit of momentum going back the way of Furia now, but it's not a solid enough win to really say, hey, look, Furia's back, they're going to dumpster the rest of this series.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Avangar definitely made some strides in that last game. They had a pretty good run of things, all things considered, on Vertigo, and we didn't really expect them to get it going too much. Like, that was more of a map where I thought Furia were definitely going to dumpster them. And previously, if you go back towards Vertigo and Avangar's map pool, they played it a couple of times, but the couple of things that they were doing were working pretty well for them, but I just don't think they had the depth in playbook to be able to push it across the line from Furia, for Avangar rather, and I don't think that the individual players, although KitKat was coming up with a couple of pretty cute plays, Dren had a nice round with the Deagle and all those kind of things, it wasn't really enough to put Furia away in the end. So heading forward onto Mirage, I think it's a promising enough sign to say, hey look, they've got a pretty good chance on this map, but again, it's a map that Furia does play a fair bit, so you can't really 100% point towards Avangar and say, hey, they're going to be able to smash them like they did on Inferno.
I wonder what that fella's munching on. Looks like a sausage roll or something.
A sausage roll in Hong Kong?
Do you reckon you could get a sausage roll in Hong Kong? Probably not that easily.
Sure.
Yeah, look, I kind of agree with you in the sentiment that I'm not really sure where the rest of this series is going to go. Mirage will probably tell us a fair bit, depending on, I guess, maybe how one-sided it is. If it is one-sided, you know, even if it's not one-sided, I think that also still kind of continues to tell us, it reinforces this storyline of, hey, these two teams are actually fairly evenly matched at this point. So for me right now, we're kind of in like a tipping point. We're in a bit of a balance. We're not really sure exactly what's going to happen for the rest of this series. And the nature of a best of 5 is like we still have 3 maps to go. You know, this could be a long haul.
But the best of 5 format should usually favour the better team, and it's undeniable to say that Fury is the better team out of these two, just in terms of the rankings, in terms of their results, also just in terms of how long they've been together as a lineup. You know, they definitely had a lot more time to work on the map pool than Avangar with a newer change of a Dren coming in.
That is true indeed, but so far tonight, I almost want to say I think Avangar's been the better team.
I think so
over
too.
the course of 2 maps, even though it's one of these.
Yeah.
So, how much do you weight past history versus what's actually happening today?
Yep.
That's a bit of a debate, I suppose, that has to go backwards and forwards. Looks like we're going to get a bit of an eye on the knife round for Mirage, which is obviously not the biggest of deals. Again, I don't feel like Mirage is one that it matters too much which side you do tend to start on, but it looks like Furia will get to choose based on that. I suppose you probably go CT again here. Although Furia on Vertigo, they did choose to start on T, so I don't know if that shows something, if that kind of gives us an insight as to what their mentality is going to be going into the rest of this series. Do they want to start the maps off on, you know, on their own terms in a sense?
Yeah, potentially they want to really be setting the pace and just get things rolling and get in the face of their opponent and just ride that momentum all the way through the rest of the map. Kind of like what Avangar did to them when they really got things together on their CT side, and then T-pistol, and all of a sudden you've strung double-digit rounds together, you win that key gun round, and your opponent just kind of rolls over and dies.
Yeah, it was such a disappointing map really for Avangar. I feel like it's fair to say that because, yeah, you get that big round out of a Dren in the first half. Next round following, Furia wins pretty much straight away. KitKat, he gets the ace.
Games were like that, right? They were just like forced by back and forth until one team sort of got on top of things.
Yeah, so look, there were so many opportunities for Avangar that didn't quite go their way. I almost feel like we could be at 2-0 at this point, but Furia definitely deserved to win on Vertigo. And now we move on to Mirage. One team going to find themselves at a 2-1 lead, which will put them at match point after this. We're in the pistol, and Avangar Not enjoying how it has started off. They've at least got Buster into Bs by bench, and that's pretty nice, actually. Adren also opening up onto Keiterado, but now he himself is in a 1v2, and with his position known, it's going to be a little more difficult for him to get a whole lot done. He does, though, have to commit to B, because the bomb is sitting in the site. Plenty of time to work with, so he can play around a little bit. That's a great shot, but Able J finishes it off, and it was just exciting for a moment for Avangar, but not so. Furia 1-0.
B-Rush quickly repelled there by Furia, but it got very close at the end. However, like you said, Able J comes through with the goods, and that's going to mean Furia up 1-0. They're going to buy up into this round, but a couple of MP9s, and with Avangar actually going for the force into this one, that could be danger territory. You don't want to buy too many of those SMGs and then run into angles where these Deagles can just rip you apart. Definitely need to be careful around that one. Over on the side of Art, though, if that man's given too many duels against the pistols, he's just going to absolutely tear these Ts to shreds with the AUG. And there it is, first one, second one, and he's lining up another one, just holding down the trigger.
Honestly, wouldn't have been surprised to see him pull out the USP there and take the repeat, because why not?
He's crazy. Look at his pick shot.
Yeah. If you do lose that AUG, then there's a good chance someone else can pick it up. Does end up finishing off Buster anyway, so 3 kills for Art.
4.
Was it 4?
I think, oh, was it 3?
It did say 3. I'm pretty sure Keiterado and Able J got 1 apiece.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Either way, what is going on there?
Okay, that was a bit too aggressive. Would have liked a little bit more smoothness. Maybe, look, I don't know who's doing the observing in Hong Kong, but the person you really want to be hitting up is MC_CSGO on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or is it MC just, is it just MC?
MC_CSGO.
Yeah, there you go. I got it right the first time. How would I ever forget? 4 Deagles, P250, looking to do some damage, but like you said, down goes Kika very early on. Even if he did try to run out of that fire, he's running into an MP9 with no armor, which, yeah, you're not, that's very much not a double point sort of situation.
No, not really.
That's more of a shrug sort of situation, like, what do I do?
Well, Buster's probably been the strongest performer. That's definitely a shrug. I'd say he's been the strongest performer for Avangar tonight. We'll be looking to see that continue. These Deagles for Avangar tonight have just been insane, man.
Like, okay, it's a 1D, but you got to understand, every time an Avangar player clicks on a CT head, that's like, see you later to your economy. Good luck buying further on in this half when I get my AKs going.
Well, they did get 3 kills on SMGs this round, Furia, so that helps.
Sure.
Essentially still 1 more, but Buster is a dangerous man with this Deagle.
Just look at him. Have you ever seen a more dangerous man?
Absolutely not.
He could literally helicopter those hands around, and you wouldn't want to be in the way of that. There's no way.
Yeah, Able J's got 7,700 though, so that's salvaging things a little bit for Furia. 3-0, look, pretty good. Avangar with their first buy though. Jame no warp. Thought about it.
He's the money man here for Furia, you're right. And he's even doing the little shuckers sign. He's going to buy beer for all the boys.
If they win, I'm sure there will be some beers for Furia.
Why not? What kind of beer do they drink in Hong Kong, I wonder? Got some good Asian beers, maybe.
Well, my first thought went to Chinese beer, but I'm not so sure about that. Quite partial to Tsingtao myself, Billy.
No.
I don't know if there's any beer that's Hong Kong made.
Well, they don't pay you to talk about the Hong Kong beers. They pay you to talk about the esports. And with the look at the crowd of that esports festival.